All right, so Dan was talking about he has tendonitis. He believes in his rotator cuff. Different things you can do for that. Well, first you want to make sure that you have good flexibility in the shoulders. Usually bad shoulders is a result of tight pectoral muscles, weak muscles in the lower traps, and weakness or tightness in the subscap or posterior shoulder region. So movements that can help really well with flexibility is you can grab a band, an elastic band like this, try to find a way to anchor to a wall or a door handle, and you want to create enough tension where you feel it stretch across the chest here. And we're gonna go through a stretch motion. It's gonna go across the face, bicep, around the forehead like this, and then you're gonna run the hand down your shoulder. You should feel stretch back here, posterior deltoid subscap area. You're gonna go all the way there, all the way back, and there should be a good amount of tension on it. Like you really want it to pull the tissue apart. You know, not to the point where you hurt yourself, but stretching should be a little bit stressful. So you go there and back, say 10 to 15 times, probably for like 3 sets. Do both shoulders and try to gauge which one's tighter, give you an indication on what kind of injury you have. Another stretch you can do, this is a door frame stretch. This is a very staple movement for a lot of physical therapists, especially with shoulder issues. Elbow, the door frame. You're gonna bend your knees, so I'm using the weight of my body to pull my pectoral minor, and I'm going to twist away. You should feel a very deep stretch in the pectoral. I'm gonna hold this, take big breaths in, and feel the tissue and feel the cells start to expand, and then come up, let it go. Then we're gonna just do a quarter squat, twist, pull, another 10 seconds, come up, let it go. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a balance back into the shoulder, because sometimes it could be too much anterior, sometimes it could be too much posterior. So this stretch can really help with shoulder health. Now, things to do to help heal the rotator cuff. Another one, making sure that the posterior deltoid and scapula area is working correctly. So you can take the same band and you can do some reverse fly movements here. And I want you to try to gauge which shoulder burns out faster. Now make sure your pinky is going towards the wall so you really feel it hit this posterior shoulder and shoulder blade. You can do as many reps as you can do. If this is too painful, you can just hold it here and you can do small pulses. That works just fine. Switch arms. Same thing. Trying to create blood flow and tension in the posterior shoulder. Trying to create an equilibrium again into the joint. Other movements you can do your rotator, internal, external rotation, shoulder at the side with a band that doesn't have too much resistance, but just enough. Keeping your elbow pinched, you can even put your hand here, and you're gonna internally rotate. This is very good for working the rotator cuff, getting blood flow into an area that's gonna help it heal. Switch arms, doing this side. And you wanna do this until you're feeling a very deep burning sensation to the shoulder. Then you go here, elbow up high, internal rotation, so you feel it burn, switching arms, internal rotation, till it burns. Now, I always go one side, so I'll do this arm, switch, this arm, then I'll go here, this arm, switch, this arm, then I'll turn, I'll do external rotation, switch, internal rotation 2 times each exercise. And I usually do it that way so I don't lose track of which angle and which shoulder that I'm working on. Now finally, one thing that I've learned when it comes to healing the shoulders is that your deltoid strength is very, very important for your rotator health. Now, when you're trying to strengthen your deltoids, a lot of times a lot of people put too much emphasis in the concentric press of a deltoid movement. If you want to heal the tendons and heal the tendonitis, you need eccentric based movements. So we could take something loaded. So for example, this is a little heavy, but I think it'll make the point. So you can take something like a kettlebell, which you can find at Craig's gym, all right? And I want eccentric pressure on my shoulder. So I'm gonna go up here, and I'm slowly gonna bring the kettlebell down, like this. All right, now I'm gonna help it. Actually, let me find that. I can actually do it like a clean position. So come up, now I'm gonna give it a kip, because I don't wanna add concentric pressure. That's gonna tighten the deltoid. So up, so concentric pressure is light, and I'm slowly bringing it back down. Going here, back up. Slowly bringing it back down. All right, eccentric pressure will help heal the tendonitis in the shoulder. So try things like that. Make sure you don't have to do a load that heavy. Have it relatively functional and heavy enough where you get a reaction, you get a burn out of the tendon, burn out of the tissue, but not too heavy where you're really struggling to keep it stable. Try those movements, see if you get a better result. If not, we can always run a few more tests, try a few more strategies to see if that helps.